Okay, I'm starting again in the parking lot because I find that I don't go on and on and on as long if I'm in town and actually have to pay attention. Whereas where I'm just on the interstate and driving in a straight line, I tend to drone. And I don't want to bore any of the thousands of viewers that are not watching these videos, because that very well may be the reason. Who knows? You might not be watching because you don't want to watch for 7 minutes at a time. So we're going to try to keep it, 15 minutes at a time. We're going to try to keep it down to 7 or less. Maybe 9 if I'm feeling really frisky. Okay? But trying my best to keep them short and sweet and to the point. So here's a fun one for you. On Friday of last week, I had a student come up to me, and he said, "Hey, Mr. Gilly, I get to go to Terre Haute, which is in Indiana, this weekend and spend $100 at the mall." I said, "Oh, really? What are you going to do with it?" He's like, "I don't know, but I get to spend $100. Great. And, in my head, I'm thinking, well, where does this $100 come from? Why do you have $100 that you can just go and spend freely and willy-nilly and whatnot? And mind you, this student has not had a pencil in his desk to use for school for like months. And I've told him repeatedly, hey, you need a pencil for school, And, pen and marker is fine for sometimes, but we need to have good quality pencils to do our work with and erase and, the mistakes that we made. So he's not had a pencil, and I've reminded him, he goes, well, my mom and dad don't have any money, and, they can't buy me pencils. And I'm like, okay, a pencil is you can pay $1 for a pack of 12 pencils at the Dollar General or Walgreens or something like that. Like, pencils are not expensive. And if you use them correctly, they last a long time. So when he comes to tell me that he has $100 that he can go and spend, I'm tempted to say, oh, you should go buy yourself 1,000 pencils or something like that. But lo and behold, he did not. He came back today, Monday, and said, hey, I didn't get to spend the whole $100. And I didn't even ask him, first of all. I didn't even bring it up. Like, he was ready to tell me. He goes, I didn't get to spend the whole $100. I only got to spend $50, and I got a new game. And then they spent the other $50 for his admission into the Children's Museum. And I don't know if it's $50 per person to get into the Children's Museum, but I certainly hope not. But I asked him, so, by the way, where does this money come from? Why did you get $100 to go and spend? He goes, oh, well, anytime my mom and dad do their taxes, they give us $100 to go and spend. And remember, this kid, well, you can't remember because I haven't told you, but just let it be known that this kid has, 5 brothers and sisters. So there are 6 kids, 2 adults, and a couple of dogs, and maybe a partridge and a pear tree living in this house. And he tells me that he has $100 to go and spend. And I'm like, because mom and dad did their taxes and got their refund. Okay, so why don't you put that back towards school supplies or new shoes or something useful? But no, they go to the Children's Museum, which I guess is at least kind of educational, and buy video games. Seems like a lapse in judgment, in my opinion. But I am not the child's parent. I have my own child, whom it is my responsibility to take care of and teach to be responsible in her investments and spending and whatnot. So, what they choose to do with their tax refund is up to them and none of my business. It is my business that the kid doesn't have a pencil. And I can't go and spend, like I said, they're cheap, but when you have 25 kids who need a pencil every single day, you burn through it pretty quick. And if you're going to buy quality pencils, then obviously they're going to cost a little bit more. And I have my own bills to pay, and I have my own gas to put in my car, and my own food to buy. And, I'm not in the business to supply all of my students with their supplies. If they are at an absolute need, then yes, I will make it work for them. But not somebody who's going to tell me they're going to go blow $100. I'm sorry if I keep touching my nose. I have, a hair either from my mustache or from my nose. It's every time I breathe out, I can feel it. So I need to get it plucked, and it's just annoying. You can feel it flopping around in there. So, side note on that. But if you're going to tell me that you're just going to go and blow $100 in a weekend, I'm not going to go out of my way to make sure you have pencils and paper and things like that. Come on. Let's be responsible here. The other part of it is, this kid's dad works at the school. He works in the same building that I do. And, so, I mean, it's really easy to say, hey, you know, your kid needs this stuff. And, you know, I could say it 20, 30 times and nothing. No results. So again, not real apt to help out in that situation when it's not met with concern or respect or any of the above. So that's 5.5 minutes of your time right there, ladies and gentlemen, that don't exist. Well, that exist but just aren't wasting their time with my ramblings. So that's what I've got to offer you today. It's kind of just the only thing that was really of note today. I'm not going to go on and on and on about some inspirational quality stuff because I just don't have it. So, be responsible. That's the thought you should take away from this. Be responsible. See you tomorrow.